Sami Zayn came out next. Now, this was an interesting segment. So Sami Zayn comes out, and he says, I've got something to expose about Bobby Lashley. And he brings up the interview segment from last week, showed a clip of it. The crowd chanted, boring. Woof. The crowd's already souring on Bobby. He's only been back for a month as a babyface. I mean, again, he's a guy that should be that should be a heel. That goes without saying. Bobby Lashley, and I've talked about this before, the guy was killing it in TNA. Now, there's a lot of people out there who are like, oh, this guy was the shits in WWE before. He's the shits in WWE now. I get that. But with Bobby, the 4 or 3 years that he was in TNA, he was doing a hell of a job. As their world champion, dominating everybody, the guy was really, really, really good. He really found his niche as a heel in TNA. And maybe WWE just saw the buzz around him, but not really understood, without really understanding fully why there was buzz around him in TNA. Maybe they just realized, oh, he was a hot act in TNA, let's bring him on over. Not knowing what made him work in TNA was his heel stuff. As a babyface, he was fine, but he really started to find his footing as a heel in TNA. So why they didn't bring him back in that role shocks me. I have no idea why. It's beyond me. But there's still time to salvage him before he's damaged goods. So I would hope that there's something coming up down the pike in the not-so-distant future with Bobby and them turning him. Because whatever the fuck this thing is with Sammy bringing his sisters to Raw next week has terrible, stupid sports entertainment garbage written all over it. So I really hope there's an endgame here. I'm not hopeful, but Bobby's a guy that can be something on the Raw brand if they actually utilize them properly and wasn't as miscast as he is currently. I thought the interview thing last week, like I talked about in last week's show, was fine. Maybe not exactly stellar and kind of felt more awkward than anything else, but at least it was a step in the right direction and giving this guy some sort of character motivation. Because right now, he's just another guy in the roster. He got this huge reaction when he came back a month ago, the night after WrestleMania, and felt like a star. But fast forward a month, literally no more than a month later, does he already feel like just another fucking warm body in the roster? When he could really be something for this brand if they utilized him properly and did not miscast him as a babyface. So, again, the whole Sami Zayn bringing his sisters to Raw thing next week to expose Bobby Lashley sounds like hot garbage. But I'm hoping there's some sort of endgame here. And I'm silly for even thinking that with this company because a lot of the times they don't really know what they're doing when it comes to stuff like this. But I am hoping there is some sort of endgame here with Bobby going heel before long. Because that's really the only saving grace of this entire angle. Because if not, this is going to backfire very badly.